Hello everyone, and welcome to a special behind-the-scenes peek at NTTV's premiere podcast, UNTalk. UNTalk started as a video podcast, interviewing local personalities about issues or passions our guests were involved with. From music producing and student journalism to heavier topics like the Black Lives Matter movement and domestic abuse resources. UNTalk has gone through a lot of changes over the years, from different logos to different theme songs and different sets. But our biggest change came this year when we went completely audio. We used to be a video podcast, which made sense. NTTV is a TV station, and that worked all right for us. But we used to only do 2 episodes a semester, and they were fairly involved research-wise. But a lot of times the crew was only in the studio twice a semester, so they weren't really able to get the experience we wanted to give them. The switch to audio happened when the new entertainment director, Peter, came to me and asked for UNTalk to head up the entertainment department's online portfolio, moving to be completely online and removing our video component. The issue with this is that we would lose more than half of our already small crew, and at NTTV, volunteer spots are very precious. Peter asked me how we could move online without losing any spots, and I came back with 3 producers, 2 crews, and 6 episodes. Each producer over 2 shows, each crew working on 3 episodes. Our crew being able to use the equipment 6 or 7 times a semester with 2 or 3 shoots an episode. And we'd be putting out enough content to keep up with being an online medium. Peter approved, and I'm proud to say that's pretty much how it went.
My name is Michelle Galvez. I am a producer here at UNTalk, and I've been working now for 3 seasons.
Hello, my name is Nico Lair. I am a producer here at UNTalk. I'm a sophomore. This is my 3rd season with UNTalk, so I'm really excited.
My name is James Jimmy Peeler. I have been with the show now. This past August, or past September, makes it 1 full year of being with UNTalk. And I'm a producer.
So I have 2 episodes this season. One of them is the Do You Know Coffee, Cars and Coffee. And then we also have the Manhattan Short Film Festival.
So my episode is hydroponic farming and its impact here at UNT and globally. So we dove into like what is hydroponic farming, obviously, for people that don't know. And we also talked about like the environmental benefits and like the pros and cons of having it here, not only like on our campus, but if it should be more widespread.
The struggles of running an independent bookstore, the newer issue of charter schools and school vouchers, and the economic and environmental future of the agriculture industry.
I started UNTalk as a production assistant, and so I kind of got to shadow everyone and kind of see like all the jobs and kind of just get filled in here and there where I was needed. And at the end of my 1st season, there was actually a producer stepping out because she was graduating. And so they were looking for someone to kind of take their place and learn the ropes. And so I came forward when they asked, and I was able to take the position.
Last semester, we had a few producers graduate, and I interviewed with you, and I got the producer position.
I first started as an assistant video editor. I had loved editing. And then the semester after that, our lead editor, she left. She stepped down, so I took that role. I had the opportunity to work with great people. And a couple months ago, after the season ended, Robin contacted me and told me that she would love to have me as a producer. And I said yes. I wanted to do that really, really bad.
An episode usually works like this. The producer brings 3 ideas at the beginning of the semester. We workshop them until we have 2 strong episodes. They reach out and schedule the episodes. I plan out the meetings that need to happen for the episode based on the shoots. Our writers have their meeting with the producer and the lead writer to do research on the topic and come up with questions for the host. Then the filming, we're audio-only process. We usually do 2 to 3 shoots per episode. 1 in studio with our main guest, 1 on scene talking to other members and getting that sound, and then sometimes an expert interview or a man on the street segment. The shoots are where our wonderful production managers and PAs help the host and producer get all the information and footage they need. After that, the footage goes to the editors. The producers give them an outline for the episode, the editors give me a rough draft, I give notes, the producer, entertainment director, and I listen to the final version, and then it goes up online. It's a lot of work, but we have some excellent leadership to make it easier.
My name is Kevin Dockendorf. I am the lead podcast editor for UNTalk.
My name is Madeline McCrory. I am the head writer at UNTalk.
So a few years ago, whenever I transferred to UNT, I wanted to get involved right off the bat. Once I knew that I wanted to do media arts, go down the editing route, that whole thing. So I went to the whole UNTalk orientation. And I went there and saw the shows, and then I saw UNTalk, and I don't know, at the time I was a really big audio person, so I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So yeah, I just kind of talked to y'all for a bit there, and then I applied, and then sure enough, a few weeks later, I got a call asking for me to be the lead editor. So.
And I started working here last semester as a writer after just showing up to one of the NTTV kickoff events, and I thought it looked really interesting. I was like, that looks fun, and it would be a good way. I'm a broadcast journalist. I thought it would be a good way to get into that kind of work.
The last 2 semesters that I worked here we did, the whole 2-episode format. We had 2 episodes a season, and there were 2 podcast editors. It was me and then Elliot, our assistant. This semester, now that we have 6 episodes, my role in the process is very different. It's kind of turned into a more managerial role, which was kind of a shock to the system in the sense of I wasn't expecting to take on that kind of role. But now that I have, I think it's been really cool. I've definitely learned a lot.
I think the biggest change was I think we just became far more involved with each other given how much episodes we had to do. I liked that we were able to spend more time together as an organization, partly because we had to, but also it felt like team building. And I think that really worked out well with the production of the shows. And I think we all were able to work really well creatively with one another.
Oh, going completely audio. That was, I think, it was very difficult for me to kind of understand that. I've been a video person all this time. I do listen to music, but I never actually listened to a podcast. I actually listened to a podcast for the first time 2 days ago. Video, I think, it's a lot of creativity, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I am happy that we had a change. At first, I was very not sure about it, but now that I can see that how well the flow goes and how well people like it and how the host and the guests like it and how well it works for everybody to come together for many episodes instead of just 2 or 3.
Yeah, the amount of content that we've put out, we've done a lot more, and also because of the way that we are doing things differently, it's just we've all gotten a lot closer and a lot more just very closer. Yeah.
Funny memory. We have a saying here at UNTalk that is, only God can stop UNTalk, and boy, does he sure try.
From seasons past, I've told this story so many times.
So my very first episode that I worked on as a writer,
it was the Women in Cinema episode where basically
I showed up to the studio shoot that day, and it was all really good.
They did the studio shoot, and then they sent me the footage.
And I call Kevin, our editor, and I'm like, have you looked at the footage? And he's like, no.
And then Robin was like, all right, look at it when you're home, and then hung up. And I was like, that's terrifying.
And then he calls me back and he's like, I'm with friends, but I got my laptop out and I hooked up my hard drive and there's no footage.
And then I look at the recordings and there's nothing there but a black screen. And we were like, oh no.
And I was like, I already knew that, but thank you for confirming.
A few days later, I in the group me, I see we had an issue with the episode. There is no episode. It was just very funny.
The next season was car accidents. Every single person in our editing team got into some kind of car accident. It was terrible.
For the crew that knows this, I've been getting on car crashes for the last year.
Michelle got into two car totaling accidents.
Somehow, every time we have a meeting or a shoot or something happens to my car. It's like a curse.
Kevin got ran off the road. I think Elliot popped a tire going over glass. I think Connor went over a curb and dented his tire. I was in 2 separate cars that died while we were driving them. What?
I would say when we had the promotional shoot, I was getting photos done with the host, Jordan, and a writer, Matthew, and we were in the elevator going down, and we got into the elevator and we were like, that'll be a good picture, right? It fits with the vibe, but then the elevator door closed, and I was closest to the buttons, but I forgot that you could hold the elevator door. That did not cross I had slow reflexes. And so we just rode down the elevator, and the photographers met us down there, and it worked out. It worked out fine. The photos were great. It just took a little time.
So last season, I come in on the party, the UNTalk party, and the first thing that Connor says to me when I open the door, which by the way, I'm 15 minutes late because my car broke down. And Connor says, "You're fired." And then Robin says, let me explain. And it's they took the video part out, and you texted me a couple weeks later, a week or something, and you texted me and you said, "Hello, Michelle," and 3 dots. And there's evidence of somewhere, just me going, "Who's this?" And there's a good reason for this. One of my coworkers at the time, her name was Robin too, and I have both of them as Robin, just nothing else, just Robin. So I was like, this coworker I don't like, there's no reason for her to be texting me. And obviously I have the woman that, fired me 2 weeks ago. So.
A funny memory for me personally is basically anytime us producers get to be in a room together, just because I feel like our energy really bounces off each other really nicely, and we're able to just lighten the mood. I especially love when the whole cast gets to be together for our meetings and stuff, because we have been so apart because there's so much scheduling going on. But I really enjoy the banter that takes place when we're all in the same room.
This semester, showing up to the first meeting, I knew we were changing up the whole process with everything, but then when you were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be the manager now," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
The new setup for UNTalk is about leadership, delegation, and creativity, but it really was only going to work if we had the right people. And I am so happy to say that everyone continuously astounded me with their consistency, hard work, and creativity. Our hosts are so talented and just fearless talking to these guests and going to these new places. Our production crew has learned so much new equipment this semester and handled it all well. Our marketing team is so creative and consistently a step ahead of me. Our editors are always up for a challenge and constantly pushing themselves for us. Our writers dive deep into topics they don't know anything about and find the audience's curiosity before they even know the question. And of course, our producers are incredible.
I think being part of NTTV and UNTalk precisely, it's been an adventure for each one of us, and I think it makes us be a better person than we are, and it makes us connect with people, even if it's not a screen, even if it's just our computer, and I think that's beautiful.
This, beyond the shadow of the doubt, was one of the best things I could have done when I transferred to UNT, and I'm more than glad that I did it, because I met some of the most incredible people that I've ever met, and yeah.
UNTalk was different than any other show that I worked on at NTTV. It was a place where I could see the impact that I made each day, and I wanted to help make it a space where people could find their community at UNT, just like NTTV did for me. I'm so happy to say that we have an extremely high percentage of returning crew each semester. It's so hard to work for free right now, and most of our volunteers are sophomores and juniors who are at the busiest time of their college career. The fact that people have class and then their job job and then usually their second job, and they still make UNTalk a priority means the world to us. And on 3, we're gonna say UNTalk. Okay. 1, 2, 3, UNTalk!